Now your forecast first.
Sponsored by ESL Federal Credit Union.
It's a chilly Saturday evening, but most of us are dry. Numbers dropping through the 30s. We'll see a few bands of lake effect, mainly snow showers out east into Wayne County through tomorrow morning, and then they go away. Rest of our Sunday, dry and warmer. Much warmer air comes in Sunday night with a big cold front Monday. High wind watches in effect in a big Bills game that I think weather is going to play a very big role in. We'll track the latest forecast coming up.
From the team you can trust. This is News 8 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. A developing story into our newsroom. Two men are in critical condition after two separate shootings in the city, both happening less than an hour apart. We are told a 31-year-old was shot on Katy Street around 4 this afternoon. Rochester police say his injuries are life-threatening. Another victim, a 46-year-old man, was found shot on Watkin Terrace just after 3 p.m. That is where we find Eriquetta Cost tonight. Eriquetta police issued a statement today on the efforts to save the victims' lives. What did they say?
Well, Jack, just seconds ago, a scene here just wrapped up. All the patrol cars have left by now, but police say they got the call, as you mentioned, just after 3 for the report of a man shot. They arrived to find him down in the road and began their life-saving measures. That man is currently in the hospital, they say, with life-threatening conditions. They say the man is a 46-year-old male resident in the city. The road had been blocked off between Hudson and North Street, and anyone with information is asked to call 911. Now, later this afternoon around 4 p.m., a separate shooting on Katy Street. Police say they arrived on scene to find a 31-year-old male resident suffering at least one gunshot wound. He is being treated in the hospital and is in critical condition, police say. Again, anyone with information is asked to call 911, and police say there are currently no suspects in custody for both incidents. We're also hearing more officers open up tonight about their feelings on the recent uptick in violence. The captain on duty tonight mentioned that there are children on these scenes that witness them, and they are deeply affected by these tragedies. He also mentioned that these life-saving measures done by police are crucial in these moments. One incident tonight calling for 2 tourniquets. Of course, we'll keep you posted on all these investigations as they develop right here on News 8. Jack?
Eriquetta, thank you. Now let's move on to the latest on COVID-19. Tonight, New York is reporting another 3 Omicron cases, bringing the statewide total to 8. More than 9,000 new cases of COVID-19 were also reported, with more than 3,000 people in the hospital with the virus. 616 are in intensive care units. The uptick in cases putting a strain on hospitals across the state, including here in Monroe County. Today, the first group of National Guard soldiers officially arrived to alleviate staffing shortages in healthcare facilities. 26 members will arrive at Monroe Community Hospital. Eriquetta Cost filed this report today.
Alyssa Tallow, Executive Health Director for Monroe Community Hospital, says the reason is because most nursing homes are unable to accept new patients due to shortages. As a result, patients are staying longer in hospitals instead of being released.
We actually function as the largest standalone nursing home in this region. We are licensed for 566 beds. So what we are really going to do is take some of those short-term rehab and long-term care nursing home residents that are currently bottlenecked in the hospitals.
That's where these National Guard members come into play. All members are fully certified EMTs with experience training wounded soldiers in combat.
So today we're working on training. They will be working with residents for bathing, dressing, transfers, toileting, those types of duties.
As of right now, Monroe Community Hospital is the only site in the county receiving this deployment. County executive says it's a major step forward for everyone.
Well, this is what we as a community has identified as that priority then, that if we can help stand up and shore up nursing home beds and nursing home space, that would help the rest of the healthcare system.
I don't think we're going to be out of the woods. This is a long-term challenge. Staffing in healthcare has been predicted to be in a crisis now for almost a decade.
Eriquetta Cost reporting there. Officials say the team will be stationed for as long as needed. No time frame as of yet. Meantime, CNN reporting tonight that Chris Cuomo has been fired from the network. That news released in a tweet by the station's communications team. Cuomo was suspended this week after details emerged about how he helped his brother, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, as he faced allegations of sexual harassment. CNN launched its own investigation after documents showed he pressed sources for information on his brother's accusers and helped craft messages to the media. His termination is effective immediately. SUNY Chancellor Jim Malatras is apologizing after findings from the Attorney General's investigation into Governor Cuomo. The investigation found Malatras sent derogatory messages about Lindsey Boylan in 2019 before he became chancellor. Boylan would later accuse Governor Cuomo of harassment. Student leaders within the SUNY system are calling for the chancellor to resign. A statement from student leaders says, quote, "The materials released by the Office of the New York State Attorney General clearly demonstrate behavior that is unbecoming of a chancellor of the State University of New York. The leaders suggest a national search for a new chancellor." The parents of the alleged Oxford, Michigan high school gunman are in custody after a manhunt that lasted for hours. James and Jennifer Crumley were charged at noon yesterday with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, but they missed a 4 p.m. scheduled arraignment and prompted a search that involved the U.S. Marshals. Detroit police reportedly found them in a commercial building on the city's east side, which houses an art studio. Students at Nazareth College protested what they call racism and a lack of diversity at the school. Organizers say the protest was brought on after a professor leaving under what they call mysterious conditions. Students say those who have left were supporters of students of color and more diversity on the Nazareth campus. They also said classes promoting diversity are being removed from the schedule as well. Students say they want to be heard.
They've either been pushed out or just they didn't feel valued here, so they chose to leave. And one staff member specifically who supported students, she's being targeted, and that was the catalyst for us moving today.
Programs like Women and Gender Studies, major and minor, that promote diversity, that promote analysis of class, gender, race, sexuality, are being damaged by the college.
Nazareth College responding tonight with a statement saying in part, quote, "We support our students' activism and take their concerns seriously. Moreover, we encourage their advocacy and participation in the process of change." The college leadership will be having a previously planned meeting with students on Monday to listen to their concerns. You can find the full statement from the school over on our website, rochesterfirst.com. Today, the Home Energy Assistance Program, or HEAP, received a boost ahead of the winter season. The program securing more than $500 million in additional funding through the Federal American Rescue Plan. HEAP helps lower the cost of heating bills for families in the colder months. Today, Congressman Joe Morelli was in Rochester outlining how essential the money is, especially now.
HEAP is one of the most vital programs that helps people in our community. More than 70,000 Monroe County families participate in this program and helps them afford the cost of heating their homes each winter. So think about that, 70,000 families just here in Monroe County. And this is particularly critical assistance for vulnerable populations, senior citizens, children, and those living in poverty. So I'm proud that the additional funding will help ease the burden on our community during an already challenging times.
The HEAP program is accepting applications now until mid-March. You can apply through Monroe County Department of Human Services, Lifespan, or the Catholic Family Center. And much of the area tonight is under a high wind watch. Chief Meteorologist Eric Sneidel with the details now. Eric.
Hi, Jack. Yeah, we're going to have some busy weather around here over the course of the next few days. It gets windy, it gets a lot warmer, and none of that is going to be an issue here tonight. It is 34 degrees at this hour at the Rochester Airport with a wind of 8 miles an hour out of the west. So windy. No, that'll be an issue more tomorrow night and Monday. I think some of that starts to come in. Rest of your Saturday night here, we'll hold tight with these numbers in the low 30s, eventually finding our way into the 20s here by early tomorrow morning. But a lot of you, unless you're going out and getting dinner in far northeast Wayne County into places like Wolcott, chances are you will end up mostly dry here for the remainder of the night. There's your satellite and radar. We do have some lake effect to speak of, but for the moment, the wind is oriented just right to spread a lot of that into Oswego, getting into the Tug Hills, some locally heavy snow falling there, along in just just east of 81, but back closer to home for the moment. That flow is not enough to drop things into Monroe and Wayne County. I do think overnight, though, we get just enough veering with that wind that folks in Wayne County will get some of those snow showers. Any accumulation, though, is expected to be minor, and then a lot of that is gone by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. Here's how Future View looks into the morning. You see a few of those bands that are still showing up by 8 to 9 o'clock. Rest of us, mostly cloudy. We warm up to freezing by 8 o'clock. Tomorrow's going to be kind of a weird day here. Afternoon temperatures will stay in the middle and upper 30s, but that will not be our high. Our high on the day is going to happen just before midnight. Southerly winds and much warmer air pumping in here. By midnight, we're going to be knocking on 50 degrees door. That's how we will start our work week here. Early Monday, temperatures jumping quickly into the lower 50s. That right there is your cold front. And this is going to be a doozy of a cold front. A line of heavy rain comes on by. Then we get some wind issues and some much colder air. We have stopped this at 8:30 into Monday. That is about kickoff time in the Buffalo area. And yeah, there's going to be some snow showers. That's not going to be the big deal. Temps falling into the 20s. It will be frigid and it will be extremely windy throughout this too. Jack mentioning we've got high wind watches in effect for Rochester and points west. Now keep in mind with those watches, those do not kick in here, whether they're upgraded to a warning or an advisory, until early Monday morning and then running through Monday evening. So wind will not be an issue through most of the day tomorrow. They'll start late tomorrow night into early Monday. Most of us will end up with wind gusts around 50 miles an hour, but we think an isolated gust or two of 55 to 60 can't be ruled out. Sporadic power outages with that. Winds will be southerly out of this to start into Sunday night, and then eventually behind that front, they will go westerly, which kicks off some of that lake effect. There's your Bills game forecast here. Now, I know I've put some snowflakes in the background of this. Chances are there's going to be some flurries. That's not what you should be focused on here. If you're going to this game, temps will start in the 30s, rapidly fall into the 20s. I've got wind chills in the teens throughout here. Look at those wind gusts. They could be about 50 miles an hour. That is going to have significant implications on the game plan with this, and then obviously for the fans. I'll be one of them that will be there at Highmark Stadium that I'm sure will be shivering through that. 53, remember that's early. We fall rapidly from there. A couple of stray snowflakes. Tuesday, maybe some light snow. Could be an accumulating light snow, Jack, by Wednesday.
They keep the ball on the ground, you think?
I think there's that, and I think it's a really, really bad night to be a kicker.
Tyler Bass, he's had much more difficult tasks before. Hopefully he can step up this Monday. Eric, thank you. That's all for News 8 at 6. Our web edition, we're back on TV at 11.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.